Well, hello, it's Jackson Mixes It. Today we're going to be ranking Waves vocal mixing plugins from best to worst using this tier list. S is like God tier, like top of the line, nothing's better than that. And then D is like boo-boo, you know, boo-boo. I've got nothing but absolute love for Waves. I am a huge fan of Waves. I'll use Waves for the rest of my life. Without Waves, I wouldn't be anybody. I'm only gonna touch on the Waves plugins that I've had experience with, which is 99% of them. And not all of these are specific to vocal mixing, but in my situation, that's the thing I've found myself using these for the most. Okay, the very first plugin that we're going to be looking at is going to be Wavetune. Now, if you're wondering, asking yourself, but Wavetune, isn't that just auto-tune? It's not. It's the graph version of auto-tune. Basically, so you can just go in and manually fix individual notes. And this one is, in my opinion, so out of date. It is just absolutely miserable to use. I don't see any reason why I'd go for this over, say, the Logic stock one or something like Melodyne, which is just way better. So for that situation, I don't like to, but I'm gonna give it a C tier. I do use it occasionally. The next plugin is going to be Voice-Centric, and this was in collaboration with the engineer Greg Wells. This plugin is interesting. Does something kind of strange. It does something kind of cool. I don't use it anymore, but it was a big heavy hitter in my early days. I'm gonna throw this plugin into the B tier because I actually think it's a great quality choice for beginners, and it just is a lot better than a lot of the other stuff, which has one big fat knob in the middle of it, which, oh, we're gonna get into very soon. Don't worry about that. The very next plugin, Waves Vocal Rider. I haven't seen much out there on the market that is like this or competing with this. It's like an automatic fader. The fader just automatically goes, you know, and you can set the range and set how it affects it and all that stuff. But what's even crazier about this plugin is you can click this write mode, so it'll actually draw an automation track on your vocal, which you can go in and just tweak like you normally do inside your DAW. It works great without that, and then once you want to take it even further, you can do that automation stuff, and it is just absolutely insane. This one's going straight up into the S tier. All right, on to the next plugin, which is probably my most used plugin. That's a lie. My second most used plugin out of this entire bunch that we're reviewing right now. This is the Waves Doubler. I'm not even gonna say too much about this, but on background vocals, I don't get this sound anywhere else. I love taking those two sides all the way up, taking that middle point down a little bit, or turn it all the way off, and then take that high shelf on the EQ and just drop it a little bit. Oh my gosh, for background vocals, S tier. That's in the S tier. We've got two in the S tier already. Are you freaking kidding me? All right, onward. Next is the one knob stuff. Now, these aren't specific to vocals, but I feel like a lot of people that are going for one singular knob that's promising easy instant mixing are probably people stressing over getting a quick vocal mix. That's what I would assume. This stuff is absolutely terrible. Don't buy it. You can't, there's no way to adjust it and customize it really to your track. It's just one setting, and frankly, straight down to the D tier. It's in the D tier. It is. I'm not lying about it. Alrighty, moving onward to one of the most popular Waves plugins ever, Arvox. And I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but I think it's actually quite overrated. I would in any situation, way rather go with an 1176. And that's just, of course, my opinion. This, in my opinion, brings out a lot of that like woofiness in a vocal that I don't really like. Again, it's been my experience with it. It's not my absolute favorite, and I actually never use it, never touch it. I used to a lot. But yeah, this is gonna go into the B tier as well, next to Voice-Centric, which is crazy. But in my situation, guys, that's what this is about, is just my honest situation and reality going with these plugins. I use Arvox and have used it probably just as much as I've used Voice-Centric. I know, it's crazy. Okay, now we've got a big heavy hitter, and this plugin, I mean, it carried me. It saved my life. It made me think I could do something. It made me feel okay with myself. And a lot of people hate on it. It's a big running joke in the industry. This plugin is CLA Vocals. It is not a bad situation, especially if you just are looking to grab some easy EQ, compression, maybe a little slap delay, and some stereo width. You can go absolutely wrong with it. Back when I was in a record deal situation up in New York, here's a clip of a song that we made. It was as many CLA vocals as you could possibly imagine. It sounds interesting, but just watch the clip. So that's crazy, but I'm just grateful that this plugin was in my life and got me through whatever period of life I was going through. It's all subjective at the end of the day. How you use it in your situation aligned with your instincts and inspiration is what will make a plugin good. Obviously there's some just janky stuff out there, but for the most part, these big brands do know what they're doing. I'm gonna throw CLA Vocals into the A tier. That's crazy. I'm just now realizing how crazy this is. Yeah, I'd rather have CLA Vocals than Arvox. Hate on me if you want. Let me know down below how much you hate me for that. All right, the next plugin, which is an interesting one, this Waves Harmony plugin. It does some crazy stuff, but to me, it's slow to inspiration. I'm gonna throw it in the C tier with Wavetune. A little weird to use and just kind of funky. I rarely use it with Logic stock Melodyne manual pitch correction stuff. I can just go in and make my own harmonies. C tier. All right, the next one, this one, the JJP Vocals, D tier. It's D tier. I remember when I got this plugin, I was so excited thinking that I was gonna have another CLA Vocals in my arsenal. I was gonna have another super power plugin that did everything for me. The only thing I got out of this thing was white noise. Okay, that's a little exaggerated, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. D tier. The next one is the whole Manny Marroquin lineup. I'm gonna piss some people off right now. D tier. I did it. I threw it in D tier. The whole lineup, all of them. Reverb, absolutely terrible. I'm not a fan of the user interface. It bothers me. The amount you have to like turn stuff to feel stuff and actually get sound, dense sound. I don't know. It just never sit right with me. I wasted my money on it. All right, the next plugin, Reverb by Waves. This one's going in D tier. Waves Reverb. The best way I can describe why I hate it is it's sour. It feels sour. That's the only way I can put words to it. It was my first ever reverb plugin. The first reverb plugin I ever bought. I paid 40 bucks for it. A good reverb, when you insert it on, you know, as a parallel chain or straight on, it should sound good technically, like good in the sense of like what it sounds like here is what it's going to sound like in the car. It kind of just sounds similar and translates well and it just works in a lot of situations. This, I had to lie to myself when I put it on my first vocal that I tried it on. I had to tell myself that I loved it. I had to gaslight myself into thinking I loved it. It is horrible. It is actually the worst reverb I have ever heard in my entire life. I'm sorry, Waves. I love you so much, and I'm a user and a customer and a supporter for life. I promise you. But this reverb is terrible. And that's my point that I was coming back to, is every reverb I've heard from Waves is horrible. Next is going to be Waves Sibilance, okay? This plugin is going straight to the top, guys. But first, we need to do the next one real quick so I can relate the two. The next one is Waves de-esser, just their basic de-esser. This is also an S tier. So these two in relation, in conjunction, in whatever, like they're married. This is how I like to, this is my favorite way to de-ess. I go to a couple methods. I've got this really cool Pro MB trick that I learned from Colt Caparoon's channel, but my most used is actually inserting the Waves de-esser, standard de-esser, before catching that kind of general, you know, wide band, just kind of reduction on the overall high end during Sibilance. And then I use Waves Sibilance, which is like I think they call it organic resynthesis plugin or something like that, to catch just those like really fine, just coming through. The ones that can like poke at your ears in a subtle way. I don't know how to explain it further than that. This is my go-to de-essing situation. These are my go-to de-essers. Love them forever. I'm never gonna let go of them. All right, the next one is MV2. Now this is a downward and upward compressor. You can't adjust anything. You can just pull down the thresholds. I don't know, when I want that like softer information to come out, I'm gonna run a fast release on an 1176 with some good reduction happening, and I'm gonna pull up what I wanna pull up. You know, I think this was my first compressor plugin I ever bought, and I couldn't figure out what the heck I needed it for. I didn't, you know, the sounds I was getting was never something that I was like, oh, I figured something out. It was always like frustrating to me, and yeah, I'm gonna drop it in the C tier. The next one we've got is HDelay. This one is obviously just an OG delay. It's got a very cool bubbly sound is the way I can word it best. This was on all my initial records. Even when I was working with my first ever professional engineers on my music, this was something I would constantly see them pulling up. I actually don't have it anymore because I used to have a cracked version, which I don't condone cracking plugins. I don't believe in it anymore. Somebody put them on my computer and I was like, okay. So I'm gonna throw this in A tier. It's a great delay plugin. But if you do use HDelay, you will notice for some reason there's just white noise or just static noise constantly in your mix. And you're like, where the heck is that coming from? It's because this thing has an analog knob and it default comes with it on. Just switch it all the way off every single time. It is the most annoying, like, why did they put that there and why is it default on? It's crazy. Just make sure you turn that off before you do anything because it'll ruin your life. I don't know how many times I thought I just didn't know what I was doing, but it's just plugins just doing things that you didn't ask it to do. No, thank you. I mean you. Yeah, this guy. Alrighty, the next one is going to be Wavetune Real Time. I'm dropping it straight up in the S tier. Oh my gosh, just looking at that S tier lineup makes me happy to look at. Like, I could get a lot done with these plugins up here, and I think we got some more coming for that S tier. So stay tuned for that. Wavetune, super cheap, works extremely well. You can get basically any sound you want out of it as far as auto-tuning to natural, and just the parameters. You can do whatever you want and go as much into the details of tuning that you would like. This is my 100% go-to vocal tuning plugin, which is crazy because of how expensive all the other competitors in the market are. The next one is going to be API 550 EQs. I'm gonna drop them in the A tier. These are great. They're like, so if you're looking for punch, like for some reason API EQ can be punchy, which is really strange. I don't know. I can't tell you the exact science behind it, but I can tell you it's punchy. So if you popped, you want a really punchy vocal and you're running an 1176 or a distressor and you're, coupling that with popping like 2K up a little bit on an API. Oh my gosh. All right. Next, we've got Sheps 73. This plugin carried a lot of weight in my early days. I didn't know what the heck it was. I didn't know why I was using it. I just would put it on, turn it up a little bit and be like, that sounds really good. I'm gonna throw it in the B tier because I don't touch it anymore. With all the 1073 options out there, I don't find this one to sound as amazing as a lot of the others, like Universal Audio. Even Arturia came out with some crazy stuff. I love Arturia. I'm gonna do them next, so stay tuned for that. I absolutely could love to use this on any mix I've got and have a great time and love the end result. But with all the options out there, I'm not looking for that one, and that's it. Next, Arvox, straight to the D tier. Bye. This plugin was the biggest waste of money ever. Like, sometimes you see plugins and it makes you mad that they got you because this thing is useless. It just does not sound good. And the commercial they did for it was so good. I've never once gotten somewhere with this plugin and ended up using that in the song. All right, the next plugin is going to be this key detector. And I know it's not like a vocal processor situation, but anytime I get a mix from a client or anything, I first drag in the beat, set the session length, all that stuff. I pull up BPM counter, I pull up key detector, which if you're sending your mixes out to engineers to mix, just include the BPM and key on the track name, please. But I use this all the time. I absolutely love this thing. Sometimes it gets things wrong too, which is concerning. I'm gonna throw it in the B tier. It's not irreplaceable. All right, the next one is going to be Sheps Omni channel. Now, I was stoked about this plugin because you can actually move these different modules around the order of the actual signal flow. And yeah, I was super excited about it. You can actually insert third-party plugins in between these modules, these strips. It's a super cool idea, but I wasn't getting the sound I liked out of it. After I did, like, you know, some demos with it and stuff, I hadn't touched it since. I'm dropping it in the C tier. I'm sorry, guys. Here's a picture of me and Andrew Sheps, by the way, the guy that designed this one and also designed the Sheps 73. All right, next up is BB Tubes. This one's fire. I love it. I'm dropping it in the A tier. It's just a beautiful saturation, distortion situation. Just fun. You got Beauty Knob and Beast Knob. You get what it does, basically. The next one is the CLA 76. This one, straight to the top, S tier. This thing is incredible. I still interchange it with my Universal Audio 1176 and the Waves version here. But yeah, when I'm moving quick, I don't want latency. I want that good 1176 sound. I pull this up with zero hesitation and I have zero shame around it. I love it. Stand by it. This is my go-to compressor in 99% of situations. I love aggressive compression. All right, we got two more. The second to last is Clarity VX. I'm throwing this one into the B tier. It works, but I'll always go for RX by Isotope. Anything RX denoise is, in my opinion, gonna just destroy this plugin. All right, guys, and we are on to our absolute last plugin right now, which is the Silk Vocal. And I think this was free when it first came out. I got it for free, and after I got it and demoed it, I never touched it again. It's in the same situation, you know, where you just can't really go in and get super detailed with it. Something about mixing, you just need the ability to interchange components and piece together your own chain. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm dropping this one in the C tier next to Sheps Omni channel. That is what it is. That's it. You know, this is my situation. Let me know what you think about this. Do you agree with me? Do you hate me now? Do you love me now? Maybe. What plugins are you shopping around right now? Let me know down below. Let me know what brand I should do next. I've got an Arturia one coming in hot. So stay tuned for that one because they've got some really underrated, amazing stuff. And guys, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to offer you something super exciting. I want to give away some free hybrid masters to you guys. So send me an email and say, I want that free hybrid master super duper please. And a link to your music as well. I need to hear what your music sounds like. If this gets overwhelmed, I'm not gonna be able to do absolutely everyone, but I will get in touch with you at the very least, and I will help you in some fashion. Anyways, well, God bless you, your loved ones, and of course your mixing skills. Peace out.